Have you ever felt that? That feeling where you desperately want love, but the second it gets close, you kind of push it away? It's this deeply human conflict. Well, today, we're going to dive into a really powerful framework from theorist Michael Lukens. He completely reframes love, not as some mysterious feeling we get, but as a committed action we do. Let's explore how this one little shift in perspective can change, well, pretty much everything.
I mean, this just says it all, right? This one sentence perfectly captures that whole dilemma. You feel that pull towards connection, but it's immediately hit with this wall of fear. It's like you're standing on the edge of a diving board, you really want to jump, but you're just terrified of that water below.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll unpack that fear of loving. Then we'll introduce a totally different way to define love itself. After that, we'll look at how this all requires a shift from ego to contribution. And finally, we'll see the deep sense of fulfillment that this whole journey can unlock.
All right, first up, the fear of loving. Let's just tackle that paradox head on and really get into why our greatest desire can also be our absolute greatest fear.
You know, according to Lukens' work, this isn't some kind of personal failing. It's a fundamental human conflict. We are absolutely starving for connection, to give love, to receive love. But then, when the opportunity is right there in front of us, when someone is ready to connect, so often we sabotage it. Why do we do that? Well, these are the anxieties that build those walls. You've got the fear of betrayal, right? Or being invalidated after you've made yourself vulnerable. Or maybe it's just the fear that you won't be able to return the love you're given, that you'll somehow fail the other person. And then, of course, there's that cynical little voice in the back of your head that says, people suck. They're all just scared and acting out anyway, which makes it feel so much safer to just stay guarded. And this internal battle, wanting something so badly while also being completely terrified of it, this is what Lukens calls the torture of life and love. It's a really painful place to be stuck, caught between that hunger and that fear. But there is a way through it. So how do we get past this fear? The answer, it turns out, is in a new, actionable definition of love that completely changes the game. This right here is the core concept from Lukens' Physics of Emotioning, committed benevolent interest, or CBI for short. Okay, let's break that down. Committed, it's a conscious choice you stick with. Benevolent, it's fundamentally kind, it's good. And interest, you are genuinely engaged. This reframes love entirely. It's not a feeling you wait around to receive. It's a goal you actively go out and pursue in service of others. And here's where the shift really happens. The typical way is just waiting to be loved. The goal is all about you. You want the products of someone else's love. But practicing CBI completely flips the script. The goal becomes serving others. You stop waiting for love and you become the source of love. You make a contribution instead of waiting to make a withdrawal. This quote actually comes from Lukens talking about his dog, Buddy, and it's such a perfect, simple way to see this in action. In their relationship, there's no scorekeeping. He's not sitting there measuring if Buddy is giving him enough love back. No, he's simply contributing to his dog's well-being, and his dog contributes back naturally. And the result? They both feel an abundance. There's no scarcity, just a surplus of love. Okay, so this shift from receiving to giving, it isn't just a switch you can flip. It's a real journey of personal development. And that brings us to our next section, the evolution from ego to contribution. Lukens argues that we are actually built to mature. The egocentrism of our youth, where our own needs are front and center, that's totally understandable and forgivable. But it's not the final destination. The intended path of our development is for that self-focus to evolve into a sincere, deep consideration for others. It's all about growing beyond ourselves. This insight is so powerful because it changes how we even talk about love. The focus shifts from the object of our love, the you, to the act of loving itself. It stops being about my affection for this one person is growing, and it becomes my entire capacity to be loving is expanding. I bring love into the moment simply because that's who I've chosen to become. So why does all of this matter? Why make this difficult shift away from the ego and towards contribution? Let's talk about the ultimate reward, the profound payoff of living this way. This is the destination. This is the whole point. When a huge part of your life is devoted to something outside of yourself, purely out of love, the result is this deep, unshakable sense of fulfillment. It's that feeling that your life had meaning, that you made a real positive impact. And what's so freeing about this whole idea is that these channels for love are everywhere. This is not just about finding a soulmate. You can direct this committed, benevolent interest toward your family, your community, a cause you believe in, or even the planet itself. It means your capacity for fulfillment is never, ever dependent on just one person or one situation. This quote is really the ultimate summary of a fulfilled life lived through CBI. I mean, can you imagine getting to the end and feeling this? You showed up with your best stuff. You contributed, you loved fully, and you held nothing back. You left it all on the playing field. You made a difference. Look, this isn't about changing your entire life overnight. It's just about finding one place, one person, one cause, where you can start practicing this shift. That shift from waiting for love to being the source of it. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is one thing you can devote yourself to out of love?